Hatred is a destructive emotion that can strip away a person's rationality. It stems from deep-seated wounds that fester over time, and when it reaches its breaking point, it can drive someone to act blindly. When consumed by rage, people are willing to abandon morality, reason, and even consequences to exact revenge, sometimes going so far as to destroy another's life. This isn't just a fleeting impulse. It's the seed of irredeemable crimes. Without further delay, let's dive into the chilling case that follows, a story born from this very darkness. Stick with us to see just how devastating its consequences can be. Good morning and welcome back. On a crisp morning at the prestigious University of Seattle in Washington, two campus janitors, Mr. Harold and Mr. Vincent, were assigned to clear an overgrown, abandoned lot behind a row of dilapidated buildings left in use for years. The university planned to level the area for a new swimming pool. As they began their work, Harold sent something off. A strange, rancid stench hung in the air, like something scorched and rotting. At first, he chalked it up to a dead animal or old trash, but as the smell grew unbearable, they decided to investigate. Pushing through thick weeds, Vincent stumbled upon a horrifying sight behind a cluster of dry reeds, about 5 feet tall, near a moss-covered, crumbling wall. There, amid scattered bricks and wild grass, lay a charred, mutilated corpse. The stench, a mix of burnt flesh and decay, was so overpowering that both middle-aged men recoiled in terror. Vincent, pale and swallowing hard, took a moment to steady himself before they bolted the main building to alert the administration. The university quickly contacted police, and within 20 minutes, investigators swarmed the scene. The area behind the abandoned buildings was sealed off. Forensic experts examined the body while detectives scoured the surroundings for clues. The site was a desolate patch rarely visited, overgrown with reeds reaching 4 to 5 feet, littered with debris, and framed by peeling walls and shattered windows. It was a haunting, neglected corner, perfect for concealing dark deeds. Had the cleanup not been scheduled, this grim discovery might have stayed hidden longer. The victim's body was in a grotesque state, severely corroded, especially the face, chest, and genital area. Naked, the skin wasn't fully burned but bore deep, patchy chemical damage, exposing muscle and even bone in places. The face, the worst hit, was nearly dissolved with parts of the skull visible, making identification impossible. Blood had dried in streaks across the remains. Forensics confirmed the victim had been doused with high-concentration nitric acid, explaining the horrific condition. A large piece of cloth, partially melted by acid, was stuffed deep in the throat, suggesting the victim was gagged before death. Plastic zip ties bound the wrists and ankles tightly. After a preliminary exam, the body was carefully wrapped and sent to morgue for a detailed autopsy. As the corpse was removed, investigators combed the scene for more evidence. Beneath some dry leaves near the body, they found a used condom, promptly bagged for analysis. A shredded female student uniform lay half a yard away, and a smashed cell phone was found 10 feet off. Then, in a dense thicket, they uncovered a 500 milliliters brown glass bottle, its cap missing but otherwise pristine, unlike the weathered junk around it. Testing revealed traces of nitric acid inside, a highly corrosive chemical. This, paired with the body's state, pointed to the bottle as the murder weapon's container. The police seized it for further study, wondering how the killer obtained such a dangerous substance, tightly regulated and banned from public sale. Beyond these key finds, they collected soil samples, ash, and odd traces around the site, photographing from every angle and logging every detail that might explain the death. UV light scanned for hidden blood or biological evidence, but nothing conclusive turned up. The team expanded their search, checking nearby paths and trash bins for discarded items like gloves or acid containers, but found no more leads. The killer had been meticulous. With the scene fully processed, it was locked down tighter to preserve evidence, and the investigators left with their haul, knowing this was just the start of a grueling case. At the morgue, the autopsy began with a thorough external exam. Using specialized tools, forensic experts measured the femur, spine, and arm bones, cross-referencing with biometric standards. The victim stood about 5 feet 3 inches tall and weighed roughly 104 pounds, based on remaining muscle and fat ratios adjusted for decomposition. The pelvis, wider, U-shaped, unlike the V-shape typical of males, plus a rounded forehead and less prominent cheekbones, confirmed the victim was female. Though soft tissue in the genital area was destroyed, the skeletal structure left no doubt. Checking bone fusion at the knees and elbows, along with tooth wear and wisdom tooth development, they estimated her age at 20 to 21. Decomposition had set in, darkened skin, a foul odor from rotting organs, and small blisters marked the process. Rigor mortis had faded, and lividity stained the back, indicating she'd been dead over 36 hours and unmoved since. Insects and environmental factors pinned her death to roughly 2 days prior. The wounds were the focus. Naked, her body bore savage acid burns, wrinkled, peeling skin exposing muscle and bone. The face was a melted ruin, eyes hollow, chest disfigured, and genitals obliterated, suggesting deliberate targeting. Acid stain showed it was splashed from the front with force, hitting the face, chest, and groin hardest, while arms and legs had lighter splash damage. Experts deduced the killer aimed to maximize pain and erase identity. Nitric acid was confirmed. Its oxidative power left yellowish-brown burns and irregular edges as it ate through tissue to the bone. Chemical analysis of the wounds matched nitric acid's profile, and the spread suggests about 500 milliliters was used. Enough to kill quickly and horrifically. The brown bottle found at the scene, designed to store such acid safely, was likely the source. The condom semen was analyzed next. Under a microscope, experts assessed cell damage and DNA degradation from exposure, estimated had been there about 35 hours. This timeline hinted the killer raped her before the murder, escalating brutality. The evidence painted a picture of a calculated predator who'd planned the savagery, binding her, gagging her, and wielding a rare chemical. Was this random, or did the victim know her killer? The torn uniform linked her to university, suggesting she was a student. Fingerprint scans from her intact fingers matched Emily Carter, a 21-year-old chemistry major in her final year. Her parents, contacted in Oregon, hadn't heard from her since a call at 10:30 a.m. 2 days earlier, when she mentioned a campus festival. They assumed she was busy until the police called. DNA from her family confirmed her identity. Investigators traced her last movements and interviewed contacts, narrowing the suspect pool. The condom semen became a breakthrough. Despite 2 days outside, enough DNA remained for PCR analysis, revealing a unique genetic profile. To avoid panic, police discreetly tested male students who knew Emily, on the guise of routine investigation. About 30 volunteered saliva samples. One matched. James Riley, a classmate, summoned for questioning. James was cold and evasive, denying any closeness with Emily or motive. His fidgeting and shallow breathing betrayed him. Campus cameras showed Emily at the festival until 11 a.m., then heading toward a back garden alone, looking rushed, her last sighting. 30 minutes later, James followed the same path. He returned by 11:56 a.m., blending into the festival crowd. But the garden had no cameras, obscuring what happened next. Confronted with footage, James admitted meeting Sophie Miller there, not Emily. He claimed Sophie lured him for sex the previous day, using a condom she provided and discarded. If true, how did it end up near Emily's body? Sophie, questioned next, said she was in a restroom with stomach pain from 10:51 a.m. to 3:42 p.m., emerging with a pink backpack she didn't have earlier. Cameras confirmed this, but earlier footage showed her with the same bag, holding a brown bottle and a cloth matching the gag in Emily's throat. She ditched the bag later. A hidden path from the restroom to the garden, uncameraed, emerged as her route. Sophie and Emily were childhood friends, both chemistry stars, but Emily won a coveted scholarship after Sophie's essay mysteriously vanished. Jealousy festered. Records showed Sophie accessed nitric acid from the chem lab, 475 milliliters over days, enough to kill. She planned it, stashed tools via the secret path, slept with James to frame him, and lured Emily to the garden during the festival's chaos. She knocked Emily out, bound her, and doused her with acid, planting the condom to mislead police. A search of Sophie's dorm found a backpack with Emily's blood and acid marks, plus scorched gloves and a jacket. Faced with this, Sophie broke, confessing she acted after learning Emily sabotaged her essay out of love for the same guy. Rage drove her to destroy Emily's life as revenge. At trial, prosecutors detailed Sophie's premeditation. Camera evidence, chem logs, and the bloody backpack sealed her fate. Her defense claimed mental strain, but the court saw a cold calculation. She got the death penalty for murder with aggravating factors. The case shocked Seattle, a stark warning about unchecked envy. Sophie Miller's meticulous cruelty ended in justice, but the scars linger.